Wenn zwei Schiffern nicht gibt, dann gibt's kein Bier. Und gibt's kein Bier auf der Welt, wär's traurig hier. Bei Schiffern der Mönche.
Hey, thanks for coming back and visiting us again. This is Two Guys and a Beer. I'm your co-host Joel Apple.
John Engelbrecht, how are you?
How you doing? Well, for those of you that saw our first episode, well, thanks for coming back anyways.
Yeah, that maiden voyage is always a tough one, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But hey, here we go. Second one. This is our Oktoberfest issue. I think Oktoberfest this time of the year is about my favorite time of the year because the beers get a little bit more rich, a little bit darker, and they're just mighty plain tasty. So.
Yeah, as he mentioned, the color change is happening not only in the leaves but in the beer. We've gone from a lighter style in some of our summer beers to our heavier style during Oktoberfest.
So what we got? What's the first one you got us first, John?
Today we are sampling a Stevens Point beer. This is from Point Brewery, Oktoberfest. It is a Marzen style Oktoberfest.
Marzen style meaning it was brewed traditionally in March. One of the last years in Germany when this style was originated, that you could cellar a lager beer and it would sit there and get happy all summer, and then time for fall they'd break it out and have a party. So.
Well, we've never tried this before, so this is our first time at it, so here it goes.
Smells malty. Not a lot of hops on it.
This is quite different than what we normally enjoy for our beer choices, Joel. But it's got a nice rich flavor to it, though. It doesn't have that back end that we're used to with an IPA or a pale ale, like you mentioned. The hops aren't there. What are you really coming through on this one?
I'm actually tasting a few hops on the front end, which is a little surprising for this style, but you know, it's not overpowering. I think this one's only right around 15 IBUs, which is not a lot at all.
Compared to an IPA, what are we looking at difference-wise?
An IPA, you're looking at least 60 or more.
60 or more.
So,
okay. So this is pretty tame. So if you're thinking of an Oktoberfest and something that you really want some bite to it, you'll be a little disappointed with this one. If you're just looking for good, rich flavor, you won't be disappointed.
There's a little bit of caramel, a little bit of roasty malt. It's a little bit sweeter than we're used to with the summer beers. Summer beers you think of being more crisp and refreshing. These are a little bit heavier. I'll say it again, malty and roasty, and not a lot of roast, but you get a different flavor profile with it, and a little bit different mouthfeel. It sits a little bit heavier in your mouth. Love this time of the year.
Yes, it's a good beer. I have to admit. I'm from Wisconsin Rapids, so I'm partial to the Point products, but this is pretty good for the first time we've had it. They've done a nice job with their work on this one.
They have, and I think they've got a lot of good beers. They've been awarded with the gold medal for one of their wheat beers. The style was American wheat beer with wheat in the bottle. They won a gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival. World Beer Championships this past summer, so they put out a good product, and I think this is a good beer. This shows their quality and the craftsmanship they try and put into their beers.
It's not a large brewery in any sense of the word there, but they really have tried to do something with these craft style beers that we're looking at here on Two Guys and a Beer.
Fun place to visit too. We've been there a couple times. Proud to say first time we closed down the tap room.
Well, it's one of those places where they give a little bit more in-depth tour because they actually walk you through the brewery instead of alongside of it. Some of the larger places that you just kind of get a glance as you walk by. You're literally feet from some of the equipment that they're using, and some of it's still some of the old style stuff in the fact that it's not as modern and automated. There's still a lot of hands-on things that they do.
And their quality shows in that they do some contract brewing for a number of other breweries that just don't have the the capability to put the money into a plant to do their own production. So
Yeah.
when people come to them, that says a lot.
Yes, if you're ever in the middle part of Wisconsin, Stevens Point area, take some time to look them up. It's a very good tour.
I'd have to agree, and there's a few breweries around there in that small area. There's Stevens Point, there's Central Waters and Amherst, which is 10-15 miles away, maybe 20 at the most.
Yeah, they got an Oktoberfest out we haven't tried yet. That's
true.
It's on the schedule soon though.
So and there's another small brewery up in Plover.
That's just a mile or two down the road.
So, and we'll be seeing something from them down the road also. So
we got one more beer to go yet here, Joel.
You better finish this one.
You're a little behind. I'm not sure what else to tell you. If you're just looking for a good beer with a good flavor, this would be one that you might want to pick a 6-pack up.
Yep. The Oktoberfest beers they're a lot sweeter than you might be used to, but that's all in the character of the beer.
The other beer that we're going to work with in this episode is from Samuel Adams, and some of you might be saying, well, you can't pick anything from such a large brewery like that compared to some of these smaller craft breweries. Joel, why are they fitting into our schedule here?
Well, you know, technically they're still a craft brewery. A lot of people put a number on as far as barrels produced at 2 million barrels, and they're right under that. Thanks, John.
I have to do this. The Lions helmet has to be in every episode, just so you know. But this is their Oktoberfest, Samuel Adams. First time I've tried this one also this year. So
yep, this is a perennial favorite. This was first brewed in 1989. This is, look at my notes here. It says in 2005, the Samuel Adams Oktoberfest won the gold medal for best German style Marzen.
I'm looking at this one compared to the Point, and this one looks a little bit darker.
A little darker. Let me finish my point.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, by Sam Adams.
Oh.
Won the gold medal for the best German style Marzen in Germany.
So they won the award.
They won the award for the best German style Marzen in Germany. That's right.
That says a lot if you can take your beer over to where it started and do that
right.
well in competition.
And you'll notice this one is a little bit darker in color, even more than the Point. They use 5 malts in here, traditional German style malts, noble hops as does Point. Very high quality stuff, and they take the time to do what's called a decoction mash, which is some of the old world in Germany styles, and
what makes that what makes that different than what we're used to today?
Well, it's a lot more involved process. I wish I could explain it all. It's even above what I know and understand, and there's a lot of chemistry and all that, and frankly I don't care much about chemistry, but it does a world of good for their beer. I'm talking too much. I want to have a sip of this.
Oh.
So by far my favorite Oktoberfest beer. Very smooth, very mellow. Everything blends together very nice. No hops. You don't taste any hops in there whatsoever.
I'd agree with you on that one.
Oh.
I'm not. This doesn't seem to be as bold.
Correct.
As the Point
right.
Oktoberfest was. It's just a very, very mellow, well-rounded beer, and the fact that it just kind of goes down easy, no aftertaste, nothing really on the front end, so it's just a real smooth.
It is very indicative of the German style, or the German Oktoberfest, like the Hackerschor, the Spaten, Hofbrau, very similar.
So something like this, I would bet, and we're not used to this in America, I bet we could let this get to room temperature, and I bet it's not going to change much in flavor.
Tastes just as good at 65 as it does at 45.
Yeah, and that's really a German style beer to begin with.
Yeah.
More towards room temperature than what we like as Americans. Get that down into 39, 38 if we can degrees. So I think this one wouldn't be hard to drink if it sat there for a while.
No, and not that it would sit there for that long.
That's the thing. It's cold now. It's going to get drunk. It tastes good, but I think that's one of them. And I think that's a great characteristic of any beer. If you can drink it at room temperature, let's say you get stuck doing something, you get away from it, you should be able to pick it up and not change your flavor much, just due to the fact that it's warm.
Yep, and you know, as the temperature changes, this is indicative of any beer, you're going to get different flavors at different temperatures, and that's not necessarily bad. What we're saying is, when a beer can do that, when it can sit there, change temperature, still be very high quality and something you're going to enjoy, it's just enjoyable to be able to taste the flavor profile and the changes as you go through that process. It's a very complex beer.
I must say, I'm sorry to interrupt, Joel.
That's right.
I must say, if you're looking for a good Oktoberfest, either one of these would be a good choice, whether it's from Point or Samuel Adams. We thank you for watching tonight, and enjoy your Oktoberfest beer.
Prost!